Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Jason Talks About Recruiting. I don't love that name, but that's what we're going with for this episode. You guys got to help me come up with a different name for this YouTube channel that is fun and helpful and makes sense, right? Jason Talks, whatever. Thank you guys for coming back and watching another episode. Please make sure that you hit that subscribe button. If you're not already subscribed, please do that. It'll be super helpful and it'll help me post more helpful videos about recruiting for you guys to get you guys moving with the recruiting process. So today I wanted to revisit one of the videos I made several weeks ago. And in that video, I was talking about why you shouldn't say no to schools right away. I've done a couple videos on that topic. This video specifically was talking about when I was an assistant coach, had an interaction with an athlete that did not go well. The phone call was not great. It was not amazing. In fact, it was bad. But that athlete ended up coming on a visit. Watch that video. I don't want to give away the entire video, but go watch that video for kind of the full context of what I'm talking about. But the idea was don't say no right away because you never know what school you're really going to fall in love with when it comes to it. And she ended up being a great fit for us and as a good human as well. After I posted that video and posted some things on Instagram about the video, some clips from that video, there were really two responses that I got from people. The first one was from former players trying to figure out who it was. And of course I didn't tell them because that would be something that Jason wouldn't do, right? Like go figure it out. So I made them watch the whole video and then tell me after they watched the full video, they figured out who it was. But just watching the clips on Instagram, they couldn't quite figure it out. So I made them go watch the full video on YouTube, as I would like you guys to go watch the full video as well. Former players trying to figure out who it was, that was a lot of fun. The second conversation that I kept having with athletes and families was they were asking me the question, Jason, what did she do wrong, right? This idea of what did she do wrong doesn't quite hit it, okay? And it does a little bit, but it's not quite there, right? If you're looking for the thing to do or a thing not to do, that's not quite it, okay? With her on that phone call, it was less about what she did wrong and the impressions that she was sending through the phone. When it comes to communicating interest, and I've said this before, I've said it 100 times, I'll say it 1,000 more times. Interest is really, really important. How you communicate your interest to a coaching staff, either via email or on the phone or via text, like that's really important. If a college coach doesn't think you're interested or believe you're interested, it makes it really hard for them to have the next conversation or to say, hey, come on a visit or offer you a scholarship, right? College coaches want to know that you're going to say yes when they offer you. And if they don't think that you're going to do that, then offering an athlete a scholarship is really hard. So it wasn't that she did necessarily something wrong, although she did. It was the impression that she was giving through the phone call in how she spoke, how her responses were, right? Short, like when you're just giving yes or no's, when you don't have a lot of good questions back to the college coach or unique questions back to the college coach, if you can't genuinely explain to me like why you're interested in our school. So she did some things wrong, right? But it was, in some ways, it's the impression that you have when you're communicating with a college coach. Even sometimes when you say the right things or say good things, your tone matters. How much time you really want to spend on the phone with the college coach. Are you really engaged? Are you initiating conversation? Are you initiating questions? Or are you just like sitting back and talking on the phone and going, yeah, like that could be, maybe you're really interested, but you're not necessarily communicating that. The same thing happens on visits. I've had athletes in the past get really excited about a visit and they get so excited that they can't actually express their excitement. They just kind of keep it bottled up, right? And so then the college coach is going, I can't get a read on her. And then talking to the assistant coach, like, what do you think? Do you think she's interested? Do you think she likes it? She's acting like she doesn't like it. And when it comes to recruiting, okay, impression matters. Even if you're really interested, if I think or feel like you're not interested, that like how I feel about the situation as a college coach is going to kind of overpower where you're at. And we don't want that. You want to make sure that you're articulating and communicating your interest, being engaged, initiating conversations. From that perspective, maybe she did something wrong, right? But at the same time, I kind of knew back then, but knew once she graduated, because I had this conversation with the dad, that she didn't want to be on that phone call and that she didn't really want to go on a visit. She was very apprehensive about the entire thing and then ended up loving it, right? One of the things that I talked to a college coach about at nationals, and this ties into the communicating and showing that you're really interested and that you're really engaged. One thing that a college coach told me at nationals was that he could tell the difference in the athletes that were prepared for the phone call versus the athletes that were not prepared for the phone call. So when you get on the phone with a college coach, you need to be prepared. Like, we have a whole prep sheet on our online program for you guys to look at, to ask you a bunch of questions about the program and the school and the athletes and things like that, to get you prepared for the phone call, get you prepared to have a conversation with a college coach about a program, about a location, about a school, about coaches, about athletes. Like, the prep sheet is designed for you to be prepared for a phone call and to answer questions that you are probably going to get asked. It's stuff we do with all of our teams. It's stuff we do with all of our athletes as we get ready for June 15th, especially, but it's stuff that you can do all year, not just June 15th. You got a phone call next week, boom, get out the prep phone call sheet, fill it out, make sure you're ready for the phone call. He's telling me you can tell the difference between prepared athlete, unprepared athlete. And chances are pretty good all of those athletes were just as interested, but I'm going to lean more towards the athletes that are more prepared for the phone call because they're going to seem more interested. Even if everyone is the same interest level in my program, if I get the sense that this athlete's not really prepared for the phone call, like she doesn't have any questions to ask me, she's not prepared for kind of simple questions like, why do you like playing volleyball? If you're not prepared for those simple questions, then it's going to come off like you don't really want to have a conversation. The last thing that you want a coach to think is that you're not interested. That is the worst thing that you can communicate. And so you have to do a really, really good job and do it consistently in your communication to college coaches that you're really interested in their program. So that's what the athlete did wrong. Now, again, in her situation, it still worked out. And that's that's part of the story that's kind of fun and interesting and makes me tell that story all the time because lots of things happen. Everyone's process is different. Just because you have one bad phone call, ideally doesn't mean that you're, cut off the list. Sometimes it does, right? In this athlete situation, it certainly probably could have been as bad as that phone call was and as little interest as she had in our program. Again, it worked out. Don't want to say that it working out when you have a bad phone call is the norm. It's probably not the norm. But that's what she had done wrong. That was a question that a bunch of other athletes and families had asked, like, we don't want to make that mistake, which is good. Don't make that mistake. It is beneficial and helpful to make sure that you are prepared and proactive about the conversation that you're having with college coaches. All right, so that's it. I'll see you guys next time. Make sure you go and subscribe, please.